So shoulder stands and headstands are contraindicated for pregnant women, especially if the information is new to you, as well as people with injuries or conditions of the vertebrae in the neck and the cervical space of the spine or the thoracic space of the spine. So use caution when you're doing them, and only go to the level that feels good for your body at the moment until you get comfortable with that, and then move on to the next level like we've shown in the classes, and enjoy. Namaste. Hi everybody, I'm Shalane Hill, and we're going to go over shoulder stands now. So I like to always teach it up against the wall, especially for beginners. So we need to create a platform for ourselves, and that helps our neck be comfortable in a shoulder stand. So I have a really long neck, so I need a really tall platform for me. So I usually need 3 blankets at least. So you'll have to figure out which one is better for you, either having 1 blanket or 2 or even 3, depending on how long your neck is. And then you want to fold the blankets to where they're in a really nice rectangular shape, and see how all the folds here are on one edge here. The fringe is on the other side, okay? So you want that really sharp, clean edge on one edge. And we need this support so that we can have it wide enough to have our shoulders and our elbows onto this platform, and not have to, it has to be wide enough to support our shoulders and our elbows onto the platform. So another thing is that we need this blanket. We have to measure how far we need it away from our wall, depending on how long our torso is. So if you'll lay down on the floor with your legs up the wall, so easiest way to get like that is to sit sideways against the wall, lean back, and pivot your legs up the wall. So you'll scoot your butt as close to the wall as you can. Now you can see you want the edge of the blanket right at the tops of your shoulders. So you can see here, this one is really good for me right here. So you can move it closer to the wall or further away from the wall, depending. You want that edge right at the tops of your shoulders. All right, so once you get that correct, then we have to get up on the blanket. So you'll have to sit upright again. Scoot your butt close to the wall. And since my torso is really long, I have this hole right here. So I put this pillow here to support my hips as I go into it. So you'll sit really close to your blanket where your butt's like touching the blanket sideways. Then you'll lean back onto your blanket, roll your legs up the wall, and scoot your butt close to the wall. So you want the edge of the blanket right on top of the edge of your tops of your shoulders. And we're going to lift our hips up so we'll come more weight onto our shoulders, so we'll rock back a little bit. So maybe just an inch or so above your shoulders here. Okay? So once you get your spine really straight and long, it's important to get your alignment good, so take your time to get into it. Okay? Then your legs are up the wall. We'll bend your knees, plant your feet against the wall, and arms are straight down to your sides. We push our shoulders into the ground, start doming our heart up so we get our upper back active. Then when we're ready, we push our feet into the wall and lift our hips up. So we want to walk onto the tops of our shoulders, walk your shoulders underneath you, and you can either ground your hands to your low back here for support, or you can clasp your hands underneath you and really push down into the floor. Now, if your elbows can't ground into your platform there, you'll need to create some more support there. So a wedge or another blanket under your elbows, or a yoga mat there rolled up works really well too. So we're pressing our hands to our low back or pressing our arms to the floor. We need to make sure our neck is relaxed So head and neck go onto the floor, shoulders are on your platform, your blankets, okay? So then we can hang out here as long as we want. We want to be able to breathe easily, that your face is relaxed. Now, if you want to go further, if you're comfortable here so far, everything's okay in your neck and in your shoulders, then you can really push up, push your hips over your shoulders then, and bend your knees and bring your hips up into the air, feet into the air, and then extend your legs up long. So you have to have a lot of strength in your shoulders and in your core to push your hips forward and your legs back. Breathing deeply. So your choice, what works better for you. If you have your hands to your low back, you try to walk your elbows in as close together as you can, and your breath is strong and long. And you find your better alignment with every breath. You can even bring your ankles and feet together, bend your knees, and let your feet drop to the ground out behind you into a plow pose. We want to keep the weight onto the tops of our shoulders. Here it really feels good to push your arms down to the floor, clasping your hands. Shoulder stand is very calming for our system, so it's a great way to end your yoga practice. Let your breath be long and slow. So when you're ready, you'll slowly bring your feet back to the wall. Release your hands to the floor, to your sides. Lower your spine slowly to the ground. And just let your legs come up against the wall. And lay here for a while with your arms out wide, comfortably wide, shoulders back. And breathing. You can always remove the blankets from underneath you and stay here as long as you want. Good breaths. You never want to come up out of here fast. You always want to roll off to one side and stay there for a couple of breaths till you acclimate, and then sit up when you're ready. When you're laying on your side, please support your head with your arm or a pillow or blankets. And then when you're ready, push yourself up into sitting. Benefits of a shoulder stand are very calming for your nervous system. Again, we get a fresh perspective by being upside down. We get lots of fresh blood flow to the legs. We empty the legs well, and then upon our coming upright again, we get fresh blood and fluids to the legs, as well as a great opening for our fronts of our shoulders, our chest, the back of our neck, and lots of good core strength. So enjoy your shoulder stand.